Yes, everybody, welcome back to a special extra live Forever United TV show this afternoon. This lunchtime, we have some breaking news. That is why we are live right now. We're hearing big developments in the Antony to Real Betis situation, an ongoing saga throughout the summer, which we was expecting to get some significant updates on this week, and we have already, it would seem. Interesting update from this one in Mike McGrath, who has been covering it quite intensely over the last few days. Actually, he's been the one that has been talking most from the British journalist about the Antony situation. I'm going to bring you that information just now. Also an update on Onana. His circumstances have changed, so what we was talking about this morning actually really is moving forward right now, and it could be Onana out of the door. Two big situations that have got developments moving forward now today. We are going to be going live whenever this news breaks. It's the last week of the window, so we're going to be bringing you everything that we possibly can and every single little bit of information that's out there right now. I want to get straight into the Antony situation. This is one that has obviously been forgotten about, I feel. Anyway, nobody's been talking about it enough, and we have finally got a significant update on this. Right, let's actually get into where we're at with this right now and what's happening. It was Mike McGrath of the Telegraph who has been talking about this, and his words and what he has said, the latest to come out of this: agreement in principle for Antony to return to Real Betis. According to Spanish sources, talks have been over a deal where the 25-year-old Brazilian forward to eventually go to, obviously, to Real Betis, to eventually move permanently after initial loan. Now, this is probably going to develop, and you'll see these tweets going out and everything from a few different sources now, from different aggregator accounts and whatnot, and you're just going to see, I think, now all of the details on this in terms of what's involved with it. It looks like it's an initial loan. It looks like it's going to be a permanent deal eventually. This is probably the best way Manchester United can get rid of players this summer. Like, we've seen something very similar with Rasmus Done and Napoli, which is coming to a conclusion as well. That has been that's had plenty of reports on it throughout today already, Rasmus Done and what's happening with him. But Antony is a very similar situation right now, according to Mike McGrath. Again, just reading it out. Real Betis have reached an agreement in principle to sign Antony. Talks have been over a deal where the player would eventually move permanently after an initial loan. So this has been bubbling up for a few days now, and today we got some significant updates. There was a lot of reports saying that Real Betis have actually asked Manchester United to make a decision today. They have put their final offer in. That was the report this morning. I laughed it off. I just said, shut up. Like, how can they actually go to Manchester United and demand an answer today? I don't know if this has come from the similar sources, but Mike McGrath from the Telegraph is the one, obviously, that we're going to trust on this one over anyone over in Spain right now. We can never really trust the Spanish reports and what's happening over there, but it does look like this is actually linked in together right now, because the report came out earlier on today, and we're looking at it in them exact words that I just said. Real Betis have sent their third and final offer for Antony. There have been two offers already rejected by Manchester United for Antony, and now it looks like there is a deal in place where it will be a loan. How much of the wages that are being covered for Antony, we don't know. And of course, it could obviously be scuppered, yet still we could get Romano coming out later and saying that this isn't quite the case. But in the last week of the window, with only 5 days left to go, and knowing that Manchester United are going to move Antony on, and every reputable source saying that this deal will get sorted, there is optimism from both sides that a deal will go through. This has been talked about by The Athletic. It's expected he will go. It's expected that the deal will be done. And I think overall, when Manchester United come to the table with Antony, they wanted guarantees that there was going to be money. There was no way out of this deal for Betis, basically, is where Manchester United were with it. No chance that they could squirm their way out, say, like Sancho's Chelsea deal did and what Chelsea did to Manchester United there. They needed to know that this was going to be money guaranteed, not just this summer, but later down the line. So we'll find out as this develops and see exactly where we're at. But just again, if you have just joined us today, yes, we are live on midday. A little bit extra for you all today, but I think this is probably the best way to cover the news at the moment. Antony, Real Betis, agreement in principle from Manchester United and Betis for a loan, initial loan with permanent deal added in. It looks like Manchester United have eventually got what they wanted, just not right now. It will be after the initial loan period has finished. So that is the breaking news on this one so far. I am scouring around everywhere. In fact, Romano has just retweeted something right now on Antony. Literally, in the last minutes as we've been going live, Romano has done a retweet. And you know what that means when Romano does this. His tweet that he put out on the 23rd of August, Real Betis are still working on a deal to sign Antony from Manchester United. Talks are ongoing to agree terms and try and get the green light on deal structure. Betis trying their best for Antony's comeback. Just retweeted now by Fabrizio Romano. Off the back of this news from Mike McGrath as well. Romano not fully confirming that there, but obviously when you look at that, that is obviously him just putting his side out there. He's obviously got a lot of deals to get through and can't cover everything, but I think that's probably the biggest sign we could take from this here, that this actually is now moving very, very close to being a real thing here. Like I said, Romano could come out and actually, say no. Samuel Luckhurst, in fact, has just come and retweeted Mike McGrath's actual tweet here and said, Antony has had season-long loan with option to buy written all over him all summer. United were never going to get a fee. They needed to avoid a loss under PSR. Played out entirely as expected. That is Samuel Luckhurst agreeing here and retweeting what Mike McGrath just put out as well. It is all coming in right now, everybody. Again, it's all coming from Spanish sources. Going through everything else here. Just bear with me a second just to make sure I've got everything absolutely covered. Manuel Pellegrini, we all know how important Antony was here last season. Let's see if we can make it, hopefully. Again, talking about a deal, hoping that he can actually get this over the line. But Antony, everybody, looks like from everybody that's talking about this right now, and we've had 3 big journalists all come out in a row here on Antony just in the last 20 minutes, saying that this deal pretty much is agreed. And again, just to clarify and go over everything, if you have just joined us, I know this might be repeating for some people who have been in from the start of the show, but it is an extra live show. An agreement in principle between Manchester United and Real Betis has been met. Now it's agreed, and it is an initial loan period with a permanent deal at the end of it. We will wait to find out how much of the wages are covered, the structure of this deal, how much Real Betis are going to be paying eventually. All of this to come, but it looks like the news sneaking out right now is that this is now done. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go through the rest of the news now, and then we'll come back to Antony to see if anything has actually changed or if there's any updates on this, because Andre Onana's situation is another one that we need to talk about here right now as well, because that has escalated to a point where we're hearing from Graham Bailey that intermediaries have been speaking to other clubs on behalf of Andre Onana, and one of them clubs is Graham Potter's West Ham United. Andre Onana, check this out. So the situation with Onana was that he understood that he was going to be left out of the Arsenal game, could not understand why he was left out of the Fulham game, and is now not happy with what's happening at Manchester United. And sources are even saying that the players are still bewildered why he didn't start against Fulham as well. I don't know if that's true. I'm just going off the reports here. Onana was not happy after not being involved against Fulham and is now considering his options. This from Graham Bailey. The Cameroonian is being offered on loan by intermediaries, and one club spoken to is West Ham United. This is exactly what I said this morning. If Andre Onana is contemplating his future, I don't think anybody's going to come in at this stage of the window and buy him. It's another loan, but another player out of the way for Ruben Amorim. And if he is causing... Look, don't get me wrong, Andre Onana is loved in and around Manchester United's dressing room. He's a really likeable guy off the pitch. I say that because of everything that he's done on the pitch, obviously, but If he's happy in and around Manchester United and everybody likes him at Manchester United, then that's a problem. If he is being left out and is upset and not happy about being left out of Manchester United's side, then talks will start to happen between players. Unrest starts to come about. Doubts start to be raised over Ruben Amorim. And United need to get ahead of this very, very quickly. Otherwise, it will escalate to the next level of player issues within. And Ruben's plan and his big sort of vision for Manchester United will be completely thrown out of the window. So I think it's right that Manchester United just loan Onana out, get him out of the way for the season and concentrate on what you've got. This obviously is off the back of the Senne Lammens news as well. Now, we heard of before that Galatasaray actually were in for Senne Lammens and putting a bid in. That came from Turkish sources. I don't know how real that is. There's nothing come from anyone big. It still looks like Senne Lammens is heading to Manchester United. But also, on top of that, reports coming out that Galatasaray had actually communicated with United over Andre Onana and what the deal was. I think looking at this right now, I could see this bubbling up, which is why I thought about it. I thought about it this morning. I thought there has to be something. Just reading into them reports of the different clubs in, I feel that this was coming. This report was definitely coming from anybody, any journalist. But I think... Surprised? No, that's why I brought up what Laurie Whitwell said this morning. I actually thought that looking at that report in particular, it said everything that we needed to know. That Manchester United had communicated with the media throughout the summer and said, nobody's leaving, we're not bringing a keeper in. And they've now gone and obviously approached and agreed personal terms with Senne Lammens. There is a keeper coming in, and one of the others has to go. Bayende starting the game against Fulham. Third game in a row, like I was saying, might not seem like a big deal, but it is. And Andre Onana, who thinks he could just waltz back into this side, is another player that has been shut down by Ruben Amorim, it would seem. Again, like Rasmus Højlund, Andre Onana is getting the same treatment. Could we be getting a triple barrel transfer out of the way here in Onana, Rasmus Højlund, and obviously Antony for Real Betis? I'll keep an eye on the Antony situation. I'm going to give you your chance to have a bit of a say right now, so get into the comments section, everybody. We have got more news and another update on Alejandro Garnacho coming out as well. So get into the comment section, please, everyone. We got You Can't Compete in there, 13 months a member. Thank you. Best United channel out there. Smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, and we're on the road to 100k. FUTV family, thank you very much, mate. Onana must be delusional. He doesn't understand why he has been left out. I've an idea. Andre, look at your performances last season, mates. Enough said. Bayende isn't much better, however. Pretty much summed up in one there, mate, Anthony. Thanks for that. Glyn says, I don't care about the system. I care about he can't actually believe that Mainu isn't good enough. Pretty simple, really. David Williams, I wish United would give me 150k a week contract for being a nice guy. Yeah, look, we're doing it with Tom Heaton. The goalkeeping situation at Manchester United is a bit of a mess. Let's be honest, it is a bit of a mess, isn't it? Because you've got Heaton being paid to do nothing except be around the club and be the professional that he is. Again, reiterate this, top guy, brilliant professional. I just don't know why United are not paying him as a coach or another type of staff member at Man United. He's not going to play. You've got Bayende, who we now feel is the number one just before Lammens comes in. I think he's pushing Bayende in to play right now, so when Lammens comes in, he can be a number one. I actually do think he's going to put Lammens straight in at this point now with what's happening with Onana. It was interesting to see the aftermath of Fulham. Now, maybe there is some player unrest. We obviously had the headlines, which was Kobbie Mainoo, and now we've got Andre Onana off the back of this. So I think Onana's gone under the radar a little bit. And now all of a sudden you're looking at the Kobbie Mainoo situation from this morning, Andre Onana on top of that, and then the bomb squad on top of that, plus the deal that we already knew was going to be happening with Rasmus Højlund. I said this morning, up to a minimum of 6 here we goes with deals involving Manchester United this week. Probably more, to be honest, when you start to think about everything that's going on right now. Andre Onana leaving in this week. This has to be a big... it's a massive bit of news. When you look at the West Ham connection, Hermansen, who came in this summer, absolutely awful. He's worse than Andre Onana. So I'm not surprised West Ham are actually looking at a loan here for Andre Onana. They have invested in Hermansen in goal for West Ham, and he was crap against Chelsea. Absolutely horrendous goalkeeper, but an opportunity maybe for West Ham to take Andre Onana. Look, even if we're not getting money on a fee for Andre Onana right now, this is still good news because he's off the books, he's out of the way, and the drama has gone. You've got a number one goalkeeper who isn't going to be disrupted by the mess that's going on behind the scenes. Like I said, if Andre Onana is friends with anybody in that dressing room, it causes a problem. You have to eradicate that and act quickly. So United offering Andre Onana on loan is exactly how I thought this would play out. And I think is a really smart move by Manchester United right now. I do. People talking about the system, this and that, and the system doesn't work. People forget that Ruben destroyed City with the same system, same manager. The only difference is the players. Well, he's trying his best to change these players and bring different players in, it would seem. Super chats in as well from Red Devil Germany, who says, thank you for that, mate. Hi, Adam. Great news. Next in line to be kicked out by Amorim is Bruno. I don't think he'll kick him out. It will be Bruno's decision on that one. You can't compete. Thank you for gifting that membership as well, my friend. Really appreciate that. Keep your likes coming in. More importantly, more comments, please, everybody. Bring up the news on Andre Onana. Talk about that to me. Talk about the Antony news as well. There is loads of people that have just joined us right now. So we are doing a poll. Will United move on all of Onana, Garnacho, Højlund, Sancho and Antony? 56% of you at the moment, with the votes piling in there, are saying yes. So there is a good majority at the moment who are thinking that United will eventually move on all of these players. I can tell you for something right now, there is movement on Højlund. That's going to happen. The significant news, if you are just joining us right now, is Antony's situation. And Mike McGrath from The Telegraph, backed up by Samuel Luckhurst of the MEN, saying that there is an agreement in principle for a loan for Antony with not an option, but there is a permanent tag connected to this loan deal. It's initial loan with a permanent deal. So it looks like it's going to be a loan deal with an obligation for Antony. This is how it sounds at the moment. We're waiting on more details coming through, but this, as it stands at the moment, is what is happening. I can see my TV screen, my computer is flooding with different bits of news right now. I'm quickly going to move on. I'll let this, like I said, I'm just going to let this bubble up and see if there's any more news that comes out about Antony. But Ben Jacobs and Alex Crook reported on the Garnacho situation as well. That's another story. Manchester United have turned down multiple bids from Chelsea now. Their reporting on this is Manchester United continue to insist on 50 million for Alejandro Garnacho. Chelsea have had multiple bids rejected now and are not yet close to that number. All parties expect to find a compromise before the week is out. It's some compromise, I'll say that, because going off the reports that we've read about Garnacho's valuation in Chelsea's eyes compared to what Man United want, if United get 50 million for Garnacho, very, very good business. And if this happens in the next 2 days, I actually think United will be tempted to go out and buy somebody, as in another midfielder. I think United have just said, let's see how these games go. I think there's going to be some cutthroat decisions by the sound. Things are really starting to ramp up here. And I think with Onana, with Rasmus, obviously Antony now, they've decided on him. They're just moving bodies out now. That's it. Cut-off point is made. Let's get these deals done. This is what we're actually looking at right now. I think Manchester United have been very cautious in the window with what they're doing. They've given things time. They've let things breathe, and then they've just gone bang, cutthroat decision time. And I'm guessing that meeting again, which brought up the situation with Senny Lamens and a goalkeeper coming in, I'm sure the hierarchy at Manchester United, that being Omar Barada, Jason Wilcox, with communication with Ruben Amorim, would have been discussed to a point where if you want to bring in a goalkeeper, someone has to go. And that someone, whether it's a loan or a permanent deal, has to be one of the two that's there now. They're not going to move Heaton on. It makes no difference at all, like I just said. all the young goalkeepers are out on loan already. So Bayende or Onana. Bayende starting the game against Fulham has definitely, for me, said what Ruben Amorim wants to happen here. Onana is gone. I think he wants him out of here. And Onana, apparently, according to Graham Bailey, like we've just reported, is not a happy chapper and is now looking elsewhere. Intermediaries and links with Inter Milan, with the Saudi Pro League, with West Ham and Galatasaray now as well for Andre Onana. And Real Betis, in fact, like we said this morning, are also interested in the conditions to what's happening with Andre Onana. So it is moving to a point and developing very quickly. I just feel like Lamon's in. If we get Garnacho out, and like if United do stand firm, how are they confident? How are Ben Jacobs and Alex Crook confident, going off what's been said to them and by their sources, that a compromise can be met if we're miles away? Look, I'm all for United standing their ground. Look, I'm okay with Garnacho not going and United not actually getting a fee for him and letting him rot. I think there does need to be a line drawn in the sand here for Manchester United and say no more, nothing else. There is that standard, there is that valuation, and this is what is going to happen on our terms. And I think the fact that we're in the last week of the window now and we're discussing about these deals, I think is proof that United are always going to stand their ground when it comes to everything that's going on in the markets, particularly with players like Garnacho. They may feel, or people may feel, that Manchester United's position on Garnacho is weakened by what's happened. But in United's eyes, a player coming out and leaking that news about him being left out and being told to find another club doesn't count. And that being leaked by that player still means that in Man United's eyes that they are going to get full value for him. Look at the deals that are going on right now. Look at the prices that are going around for these players. Garnacho is worth as much as all of these other deals that are happening, going off the numbers. I think Manchester United are using that as their own sort of guidance. That's the yardstick. He isn't going for any more. Sam Faulkner, mega super chat. Thank you very much, mate. If Fulham could work out Amorim's tactics on Sunday, why couldn't Amorim change his system or formations? Question. Isn't that what top managers do? In-game awareness? Well, he's going to be judged on this throughout the season, I think, Sam. It's a good point to make. I think we were talking about this all through yesterday, and I do believe that we are now getting to a point where football talk is going to take over. Everything that Ineos are doing is everything that this fan base asked them to do, what everybody outside looking in asked Manchester United to do or needed United to do. If he gets in the goalkeeper now, and he's got the likes of Mainu and Agati on the bench, questions will be asked about what he is doing on the pitch and why it's not working. A full expectation this season now for people, in my opinion, to be going right in on Ruben Amorim even more. And I can already feel it amongst the fan base. I really can. Thank you for everyone who has joined us in the video as well. Keep your comments coming in. We're going to keep this running and get your thoughts on this, so please do. Also, make sure you hit that like button as well if you're loving the content, and hit that subscribe button also. If you wasn't watching this morning, we are going to do a giveaway. And again, the information on that, I don't know if people understood it, but there is a pinned comment on this morning's video. If you reply to that comment, you're in with a chance of winning a Manchester United replica shirt. 3 people are going to be in with a chance. So go back later on after this live is finished and get onto the pinned comment in this morning's live video. You have to reply to the pinned comment and be a subscriber. So hit the subscribe button, and after this is finished, go down to that. But please give the video a like while you're at it as well, everybody. Right, more comments. Amorim is out of excuses. He needs results and not versus Grimsby and Burnley against real sides, and he just can't do it. Well, against Burnley he will be judged. We have to win that because we have to start making Old Trafford a fortress. He needs to win all of his home games, I feel. Really go to town on the home games. And then away from home we have to figure out a way of playing. But if we win our home games, we're going to be right up there. And that, I think, has to be the important thing in this. If you can get draws and battling draws away from home, as long as you're winning your home games, then it doesn't look as bad. You will get some away wins in this season, we will, but United need to be in and around 17 to 20 wins this season, and that's something that looks a million miles away for Amorim right now. But if you concentrate on just getting them home wins in, making Old Trafford a fortress, then we have got a chance this season. I'm just not confident that he's got it in him to do it with what's happened already. Just going off what we've witnessed so far, I would say. Satinja says, Garnacho needs to do one, attitude of a diva in a bad mood, but ability of Jemba on his bad day. Not liking him. Adam, how can you still give him more time when he is clearly not doing anything tactically during the 90 minutes? Look, I'll give him more time because it may click with him. It may just all of a sudden come on. Like, I want to give him as much time as other managers have had. But I understand that the results are going to end up ending his job anyway. And so I want to see if he actually realises that there is another way, first of all. I know it's annoying, and I know I'm there with every other fan moaning about not winning games after every single game that's played this season, or even last season, sorry. But okay, I do believe that there is something in Amorim, but I want to see him actually show it. That's where I'm at right now anyway. 7 wins in 29 Premier League games doesn't hold much confidence, says Sam with a super chat again. Again, Sam, thank you. And again, Sam, you're right. I was making this point the other day. He's got a 24% win record, which is up there with the likes of Neil Warnock, Sean Dyche in their whole careers in the Premier League. It's really, really not good enough. I know this, and I'm not trying to make excuses for him at all. I want to see action, and I said, come a year in, around November time, if he isn't on a little bit of a run and we're not in the top half of the table, conversations will be happening because there's been a massive effort to back him and the changing culture that this club needs and bringing in players and getting rid of players to help that. And if we can't get it right on the pitch, then we are going to be in trouble going forward this season with Ruben Amorim. And something will be done, I feel, because United cannot be out of Europe 2 seasons in a row. And at the moment, we're heading that way unless he does something. And that's where United fans are torn. It's like, we want to give this guy his chance, but he is proving to us that he's not capable of understanding that change can obviously help Manchester United. He's a bit too one-trick ponied at the moment, and if his stubbornness continues, he's going to be up against it. Everything that's happening in his transfer window right now, I would say, isn't helping him too much on the pitch, but behind the scenes, and Ruben creating this environment with this bomb squad gone, and all of these players out the way that are going to cause a problem, there is no excuse. It's harmony and everybody's together. And everyone knows, and everyone, like I said before, it's great that everybody's now out of injury. No one's injured anymore. Players are all coming back. He's got a full squad available with just Premier League fixtures and domestic football to play. Anthony leaving, Rasmus leaving, Onana leaving, Sancho, Garnacho, Malacia, Rashford, all gone. It's all to help Ruben Amorim. And with that being done, the fan base will be asking, where are the results? It's going to come to that. And if we do spend money on anyone in these last few days of the transfer market, then that's it. He needs to be in the top half of the table, challenging for European places by December, or everybody's going to be calling for his head. You cannot continue like this. To be fair to Ruben Amorim, he knows. I think he knows that results have to change. And the time for playing nice football and looking good, yeah, we all want to see progression on the pitch. But again, Fulham and Arsenal, moments very, very, very good, but no goals, no points. The table is the only thing that relieves pressure, and you have to be at the top half of it to be in there with a chance. And that is something that isn't happening. The conditions that will make Højlund's loan an obligation are appearances and qualification for the Champions League, says Fabrizio Romano. Oh, a deal for Højlund is almost agreed. Final details to be clarified on the player's side, so he can travel for a medical. This is from Romano. Everything is now moving into Manchester United. Manchester United have received a bid in the last hour from Real Betis for Antony. Manchester United have not yet responded to the offer. Antony hoping for a Real Betis return. This is just coming out right now. This is from Sam. This again is off the back of what Mike McGrath has said earlier on. Samuel Luckhurst, all the local journalists in and around Manchester United getting little snippets of news here, which is very, very interesting. Just going through everything. Says Onana's position on his future at United has changed in the last week whilst he understood why he was not called up for the Arsenal. The decision to leave him out against Fulham has shocked him and a number of his teammates. Bollocks. Not a number of his teammates. I don't believe that. Everyone who's anyone can look back and see exactly what's happening. There are quotes. It looks like Ruben Amorim has already done his press conference. I was looking around to see where the press conference was today, but it looks like it was already done, maybe at Fulham. And some quotes coming out. Mazraoui's injury, maybe he is going to return next week. We will see. But he is near, and we just finished some drills with him to be sure he is not going to have another problem. So it looks like Mazraoui will be back after the international break. I think that's what we're looking at here. Right, bear with me 1 second. Just checking up. Right. There's loads of news coming out, and I'm just making sure I'm ahead of absolutely everything here. I've not said anything wrong. Right, so just to go into it again, we are going to get the here we go on Rasmus Højlund anytime. That is very, very, very clear. The conditions for the move being permanent are appearances and Champions League qualification. So a certain amount of appearances for Rasmus Højlund and Napoli getting back in the Champions League, the deal happens. Pretty confident that that will actually happen then, because Napoli, with the players that they have signed, that they are going to be in that top four in Italy. And Rasmus Højlund would have only signed this contract and the wages that he's on at Napoli if he knew that there was a very good chance that the appearances are easy enough to get. I'm thinking 20 plus appearances, Napoli get into the Champions League, something like this. Interestingly enough, it's not down to performance, only appearance, which will help us massively. I think, in getting rid of Rasmus Højlund. So when you look at this now, just quickly, I'm reading out some of the comments. The press conference from Ruben Amorim. Amorim confirms Man United will make changes for tomorrow's Carabao Cup tie at Grimsby. Yes, we have 3 games this week, and we have quality players and need to do a rotation to try and win every game. So Amorim is actually speaking at the moment on what is happening going into the game tomorrow against Grimsby. Injury update is Mazraoui. So far, this is the most significant news from the press conference. He could be back after the international break. I think that's what's happening right now. I don't know if he's been asked anything yet regarding the transfer situation which is developing, which we're talking about right now. Just to go over all of the transfer news again, if you have just joined us, Antony agreement in principle. United have received an offer today for the deal for Antony. That has been confirmed now. Some reports are saying that Antony and the deal with Betis has been agreed in principle with United. Some are saying not yet, but the deal is there on the table now. So this is genuinely real on this one. So let's just wait this out as well. If you stay with me as well, I'll bring you all of Ruben Amorim's comments from the press conference as well, heading into Grimsby tomorrow. Don't forget, watch along here tomorrow. FUTV, everybody. Make sure that you're there. All the information on that will come tomorrow. Rasmus Højlund's contract at Napoli. Romano updating us on that. Expecting the here we go very, very soon is that his obligation triggered stipulations, whatever you want to call them, to make it a permanent deal in the initial loan phase is appearances and qualification for the Champions League for Napoli. So easy enough to get to. Andre Onana very, very upset with Manchester United not picking him for the Fulham game and is now looking elsewhere to move away. He's not happy at Manchester United, according to Graham Bailey, and who we are now in a position where we're looking to move Andre Onana out on loan. That's the situation as we get it right now. And Garnacho, multiple bids now rejected. United will hold out for 50 million. Ben Jacobs and Alex Cook from TalkSport talking earlier on about this, saying that United and Chelsea are expected to meet a compromise on a £50 million deal. United not going any less That's going to be interesting how that actually develops. But more quotes from Ruben Amorim actually right now. You have focused a lot on the opponent's corners, but we had our chances at Fulham and scored a goal from a set piece. We had a penalty. We had one in the end near the post. Tell me one game you didn't see a big occasion from a corner. That will happen every game. He's avoiding the obvious there. Oh, Ruben, that's not good enough, mate. Amorim defends goalkeeper Altay Bayindir over set piece issues and says United are giving him enough protection. Yes, we are trying everything. It didn't look like that, though. It was zonal marking with no defenders around the goalkeeper to help him out, and he was being bullied. I think everybody can see it, and it's hard for Ruben to try and say these things and convince everybody here. I'm guessing no one in that press conference room right now is having that from Ruben Amorim. It was clear. Like, everyone watched the game. Everyone watched it back. There was no one protecting the goalkeeper. And we have suffered from this now in the last 2 games. He cannot keep saying things like this, in my opinion, because people won't believe in him. He's saying things that we have seen that didn't happen. This is somewhat similar to what Ten Hag did. I don't want to make this about he's going down the Ten Hag road or anything like that, but we all seen that there wasn't any help for Bayindir and they wasn't trying different things. I understand we created chances of our own, yes, but surely a simple putting a player in front of the goalkeeper to protect him can be changed, particularly when you're zonal marking, because there was players like 2 or 3 feet away from Bayindir that could have just stepped back and helped him from being manhandled by the Fulham attackers, which he was being. So, yeah, I haven't got a problem with Bayindir being in goal. I'm with Ruben Amorim on that. But Ruben can't say that they are helping Bayindir out in that and they're doing everything they can, because I know what I watched and there was no one helping him out on them corners. So, yeah, kind of, it's not misleading. It's just, I think maybe he's looking for a few more positives that aren't actually fully there, Ruben Amorim. Like, yeah, we did create from set pieces ourselves, but you can't ignore the defensive side of things. London, thank you for the gifted membership, and you can't compete. Another one, thank you. Neil is back in the house, who has renewed his membership. Thank you very much, buddy, as well. Join the club. Andre, we're also not happy with you at United, says Rawls with a super chat. So, yes, nobody's happy at the moment. It would seem, wouldn't it? Right, let's get some more comments in on everything that's going down. Tons of information coming through right now. We also have a poll up right now. Will United move on all of the players will either move on, trying to move out Onana, Garnacho, Højlund, Sancho and Antony? Can they get that done in this last week of the window? 65% of you, with nearly 1,700 votes, have said yes, United will move on all 5 of them players this window. And that is now this week, realistically. Ruben says, I think we are not ready to play in Europe. That's my feeling. Having tough matches in the Champions League, then playing in the Premier League, we need time to develop as a team. My God. Ooh, it's risky. I get what he's saying. I do get what he's saying. But he needs to remember where he is. He needs to remember he's sat in a press conference room which has just been built with £50 million worth of the owner's money, to be an elite football club, with that very same owner coming out and saying we need to be competing at the top level. In our area, in the market, we need to be competitive. We're up there like Coca-Cola and Apple, for God's sake. Well, you're not in Europe. You're not up there with them people. So, again, I think it's awkward for Ruben at the moment because things are going wrong. And sometimes translation, lost in translation, and things like this. This happened to Ten Hag a lot. To be honest, it's like, as much as I didn't like him, I did understand that there was a lot of stuff that he was trying to say that he couldn't get across in the right English, and it seemed to be then mixed up and then put out in the media as a negative. Look, I get it. It's like all I will ever do is judge from what I'm watching, and I know what I'm watching. And Ruben saying he's protecting Bayindir and they're trying everything on corners, it didn't look like it to me. That's all. So let's see if they do go into the Grimsby game with a little bit more. Because if Grimsby get a corner, you know exactly what they're going to do. They're not going to create that much against United. But if they get a set piece, let's put it on the keeper's head. And let's put pressure on him. You know it. That's exactly what their manager will be telling their team to do, and that will be the whole preparation. Set pieces, stay tight, let's get a foul, let's pump it into the box. From anywhere on the pitch it'll be as well. You know what they're going to do. And so we'll see if Ruben has changed it and he's trying everything. But you cannot really say that we are not ready for Europe. We have spent a fortune on this squad and taken players away from other clubs that would have been in Europe. And they are now at Manchester United. Maybe Ruben's telling the media one thing and he's telling his players another. That could be the case here with this one, I feel. Because there's no way that they have been convinced by the Ruben Amorim project and come to Manchester United like they have done this transfer window and be fully on board with not being ready for Europe. They come to Manchester United to be at the top. And they've been sold a project. I think Ruben's saying one thing to the media and something different to the players. He has to be, because he cannot believe in that at all. He cannot believe in that. We have to play and work and need time to develop as a team. Yeah, you can do that, even with European seasons. Every other manager that's come before has done that. Yeah, it may have failed with them other managers, but still, you have to if you're at Manchester United. And that's why I don't believe it. I think he's just saying that, to be honest. I don't think he believes in that. I think he knows the levels of what Manchester United are. And I think Ruben behind the scenes is different to what he is in front of the cameras. 100% certain on that as well. Michael says, not jumping on the Amorim out bandwagon, but he has to find a way of winning matches and quickly. Otherwise, he's done before Christmas at best. Man United Greek fan says, no, Adam, we are not moving on all five. We are a disgrace of a team. I hope to be wrong, but can't see it. Mate, they have to go. Otherwise, there's no hope for Ruben, because he cannot integrate these players back into this side. There has to be something happening behind the scenes on this one, 100%. Otherwise, he is in trouble. Let's see what else we've got here as well. Back the players are goal support City. The manager is handicapping us by developing 2 against a 3 in midfield. It's that simple. There we go. Let me just see now. Right. Let's check on all the other news, because we've had massive updates on Garnacho, on Onana, on Rasmus Højlund, on Antony. It's all happened while the press conference is going on in the last few minutes. Ruben on Højlund's availability. Who's asked that question? All players are available. We'll then decide on the best 11 to win the match. Højlund's not playing. He cannot wait for his transfer window to be over. Oh my God. He cannot wait. It's confirmed that Manchester United will rotate and change the team against Grimsby. That is a definite. Maybe Chelsea's approach for Alejandro Garnacho is being pushed, because Bayern Munich have approached Chelsea about a loan move for Nicholas Jackson. The Senegal striker has given the green light on the move. I bet he has. Don't forget, in Ruben Amorim's press conference, he also said that Nus Mazraoui will be back after the international break, I think. I don't expect him to be fit for Burnley, but he will be back for after the international breaks. So that's good for us. Of course, you heard the news earlier on at the top of the show. Antony heading to Real Betis. They have received another offer today. Some journalists are saying that the agreement is there in principle. Some are saying that United haven't made their decision on it yet, but there is a bid in, and it has hit Manchester United's desk today. That is a definite from what's being said right now. So this is going to be very interesting if United do go for this. Right, sorry about that, everyone. Just checking up on something else there, just to make sure information is bang on the money. This is what I love about this sort of time, with all of the preparation going on for the end of this transfer window. We are going to be bringing you everything as it happens. I feel right now, I just want to get some more comments and questions in. I think, looking at it, I said 6 this morning. 6, here we goes. And I think we're going to be close. I think we're going to be close, maybe 6 or 7 at this rate. All this leading into the hope in most Manchester United fans' eyes of maybe bringing in another midfielder. Could we get another midfielder? That's the big question right now. If we move enough players on. By the way, like, let's say Fabrizio Romano, Manchester United still hope to speak to Kobbie Mainoo, explain the situation and control it. At the moment, no panic, says Fabrizio Romano. This, again, is something that could escalate. There is so much news going on right now. You don't know which story to go and concentrate on the most. Ruben talking about the game tomorrow. We've got Anthony updates, Onana updates. By the way, Onana intermediary is talking to West Ham. That could be a big thing. Onana going out on loan. All we're waiting for right now is confirmation. It looks like there's so many deals very, very close. Like Rasmus about to sign for Napoli. That's going to be a here we go very soon. Obviously, we're looking at the Senny Lammen situation. That looks like it's close. If we can move Andre Onana, Anthony out on loan with the obligations as well, or maybe not obligation on Onana, but Anthony, of course. I think Andre Onana will be back next season, but I think United will be. I think they'll find it easier with the amount of payments they've paid off his transfer fee. I think they'll find it a lot easier to sell Anthony next summer. So, yeah, looking at this, I actually feel like Manchester United now, I said this before, I think whatever meeting happened, whatever Sir Jim Ratcliffe did and said in that meeting, it looks like it has actually moved things along very, very quickly with a lot of these deals. And this was probably the week. This was probably the week when it was all going to come to a head. So looking at it, you can only really say that time's up. Time's up, and we are now effectively looking at Manchester United cashing in, like I said, to hopefully get somebody else in. I hope that is the case. I hope they are looking at something else, unless Ruben is going to change things drastically with what we've got. I honestly feel like we're in a position right now where, I just don't know. I'm looking at all the comments and nobody's confident at all in Ruben Amorim right now. I'm trying to convince myself, honestly, I am. I just need to see something from Ruben that I haven't seen before, like him changing, just tweaking something a little bit would just give me that little bit of hope. People in the chat, is Onana leaving? He could be leaving, yes. Apparently he's not happy that he's dropped against Fulham. This man, honestly, like the control that Manchester United have lost with these players. Let's not forget, this. I don't want to keep going back on it because it sounds like I really don't like the guy. Look, I've got no problem with him as a human being. I just look at my football club and I'm in desperate need of more quality, and Onana is not that. This is a player that was moaning, that came into Carrington with his agent to renegotiate a contract because he didn't think that he should be docked the wages for not being in the Champions League. Yes, the season before, Andre Onana Fest in the Champions League, Bayern Munich, Galatasaray twice, no, 3 times, in fact, against Galatasaray. He literally single-handedly cost Manchester United Champions League, and he didn't want to drop his wages. He thought he should be paid more for that time, for his time at Manchester United, even though he had balls things up for Manchester United. He didn't want to be docked any wages like every other player. Like, that's the mentality of this guy. And yeah, I'm all for people feeling confident and backing themselves, but sometimes the decisions need to be taken out of their hands. And one thing Ruben Amorim has been very, very good at is making big decisions. Rasmus gone. Onana looking likely to leave. Bomb squad out. I cannot complain about what Ruben has done with this structure off the pitch. We just need convincing on it now. I tell you what, he has cleared the way if somebody else does come in eventually in time. I don't want that to happen, by the way. I want Ruben to prevail and prove to everybody that he can take United forward, because I think he has really worked hard on building something behind the scenes here. I do think that the players believe in him. I really do. But he needs to do more. Ruben Amorim's quote here, just on this. This is the one that everybody's talking about right now. We are not prepared to play in Europe this season. That is my feeling. To have strong games in the Champions League and play in the Premier League, we need to develop as a team. We just need to fight, and then anything can change. We are fighting, it would seem. I think the problem that most Man United fans have got is we're not seeing quality with the fighting. We're not seeing tactics. We're not seeing an end product with the fighting. I do believe that the players are giving everything. I can't really complain about that. But I do also think that we are in a position now where we need a little bit more from the sidelines. There needs to be some guidance. The substitutes in particular, not really making sense at the moment from Ruben Amorim so far this season. And I think could have actually cost us in a way in how he's done it. The first game I called out Ugarte coming on and complete momentum killer. Why Maguire came on, I don't know. Again, against Fulham, the timings of these substitutes, Mason Mount dropping back into midfield and then eventually being taken off. It's all to keep Bruno Fernandes on the pitch. I get in that he gives his absolute all and he's his go-to man and he's his captain, but if he's making these big calls with other players, I think he's capable of making big calls on the pitch as well. And I just hope that we see more of that. I hope that we do get to a point where Ruben Amorim is really surprising people by the team selections and in-game management, because I can see from the comments there, nobody's convinced by in-game management at all from him at the moment. Not realising certain situations and not changing things on the pitch isn't going to go down with the fans well at all. And that, I think, is the only way. He is playing 5 number 10s versus Fulham. That's on no one but Amorim. Make it make sense. I said that myself yesterday, Carl. 5 10s with 2 on the bench still. Crazy. Fulham and Burnley were not games that we were thinking would be hard. If we don't get 3 points versus Burnley, he is severely underperforming as a manager once again. Yes. By the way, everybody, we are going to be going straight over to Football Talks. We're going to continue the live chat over on Football Talks. Working overtime at the moment, everybody, with a transfer window on, as promised. So if you haven't subscribed to Football Talks already, please do get across there. And obviously, subscribe to the channel. Get your thoughts across on all of the other stuff going on. We're going to talk about Isak and everything else that's going on. Other transfers that may be linked to Manchester United. Just a completely different look on that one over there in a moment. Romano on Garnacho. Again, another update that has just come in from Romano. He's going to be a busy old man, I tell you. This is the update recently from Romano. He says Højlund and Garnacho's exits from Manchester United. The deal is almost agreed between Napoli and Manchester United. Final details to clarify with the players' side, and then Højlund can travel for medical as new Napoli player, along with an option to buy, which becomes an obligation under certain conditions. The conditions are appearances and Champions League qualification for Napoli. I'm told that also a Saudi club called again in recent days to ask about the situation why Garnacho still not gone to Chelsea. Can we enter the deal? The answer was thanks, but it's not about the money. Garnacho wants to play for Chelsea. That is exactly where we are up to right now with Garnacho and Rasmus Højlund. The situation is Garnacho will not move anywhere else. There are multiple offers on the table for United, as it seems. There have been multiple offers for Garnacho from Chelsea already, which have been rejected by United. That's where we stand currently right now with both of them players. That is your extra show today, 26th of August. A mad one, yes, I know. Thank you for all of the likes. 800 of them in the bag. Please pop a like on the video if you haven't already. Make sure you've hit that subscribe button, please, everybody. I'm going to be shooting across to Football Talks now. Please come over there and join us. We're going to get your opinions over what's happening elsewhere in the Premier League. This is going to be a continuation throughout the rest of this window now. And it's going to be full on. So come and join us over there. You will be redirected across anyway. But again, mods, thank you for the extra work in there on the extra show today. Everyone's comments, please pile into the comment section. Also, don't forget, replica Manchester United shirt giveaway is coming on Thursday morning after the Grimsby game. Information on that is in the comment section on this morning's video. A pinned comment. Reply to the pinned comment and be in with a chance of winning one of the Manchester United replica shirts or any other shirt that you want that's on the site. Information on this morning's comment section. Thank you, everybody. That is us for now. We're over to Football Talks next. I hopefully will see you all over there with more updates coming. Madness. It's a madness. Cheers, everyone. I will see you all